Hi, this is DOSBox Mom, and welcome back to Let's Play Pool of Radiance. Off camera, we had one of the pieces of jewelry we'd found appraised that gave us more than enough to get Gimli leveled up as a fighter. And now we've gone to just outside the passenger dock, and actually it's kind of amazing that we even arrived in Phlan to start with, and you'll find out why in just a minute here. It's because of the place that we're going to next. By order of the city council, the harbor master says, the only boat out is going to Sokol Keep. You can catch it at the end of the pier. Yeah, apparently the problem with maritime traffic on the Moonsea is that Sokol Keep is haunted. How our party managed to get past Sokol Keep to arrive here, we have no idea. The boat disembarks you at Sokol Keep. Okay, and that's the entrance up there. You stand below the rotting remains of the once mighty gates of Sokol Keep. Echoing footsteps are dimly heard within the keep. To the west rises a mound of reeds. So let's take a look at the mound of reeds. The skeleton of a long-dead elf. And how would you tell it was an elf? Would it have pointy slits for where the ears would have been on the skull? I don't know. Lies hidden by rocks and reeds. Its weapons and equipment are badly rusted and corroded by salt. Its leathers are worm-eaten and crusted in dirt. What do? Let's search. I don't think it's going to be able to talk. In a pouch on the remains is a crumbling parchment scroll with the words. Okay, and then these are all in runes, which you are supposed to translate with the help of your handy-dandy code reel. But since I've got the clue book here, SSI has translated them for me. This first one is looks. The next one here is estni. And the last one is amosud. Lux, Chesney, and Samasud. And the last part is eaten away. So we'll need to remember those 3 words because they are passwords. And we're going to have to turn around to be able to see anything again. We can go in either way. Okay. We should run into a patrol any time now. There really isn't all that much of importance on this side of the keep. But as long as we save first, it might be fun to investigate. The encounters can be slightly dangerous, though. Yeah. The interior is overrun with insects. At your footstep, they fall from the walls and ceiling. These are scorpions. They are poisonous. Let's see how many there are. Looks like just the 2. At least for now. Yeah, no, snake charmers wouldn't have helped here. But maybe bless would have helped. course, we could try casting Bless now. Okay. He might be able to have Stinking Cloud reach all the way to that second. Okay. Yep, that'll work. Oh! Oh, we hardly needed the Bless then. And yeah, we're going to abort Bless because we don't need it. Okay. So, no treasure. There is one room up ahead we could investigate, at least briefly. Thick carpet of fungus covers the floor of this room. I mean, that's all there is to it. Let's see if we can get out without running into any more scorpions. Okay, so let's encamp. We're going to save. Yeah, basically, to rest, we either have a choice of defeating 4 of the patrols, and then we can just rest here as long as we don't leave the keep, or if we parley with the patrols, we can just go back to Phlan. A pack of undead suddenly appears. Let's parley. Let's try parley nice. And we need to type one of the code words one of the passwords that we learned. We're going to try Chesney. And the undead leave. So yeah, I decided to go the parley route. But it's really no trouble to take the boat back to Phlan when you need to. Okay. Camp and save. So there's frogs in the next room. Poisonous frogs. A broken hearth and bellows dominates the collapsed remains of a blacksmith shop. The floor is spongy and damp. The croaking of frogs greets your entry. The croaking rises in volume. Yeah. You can either go directly into combat. You can try parleying with them. If you do. Nice, Froggy. Croak. Yeah. Now, if we still had a stinking cloud... Let's see if we do. She does. Good, good, good. Well, 2 of them immediately got knocked out. One is just calming. Okay, that one got knocked out. And she's out of flask of oil. Yeah. Bless got used up. Rats. Okay. She'll be able to use the spiritual hammer next turn. Okay, so there's just the one frog left. Let's see if we can take it out without having to go into melee range. We did. Good deal. Okay, let's... Yeah. Oh. Okay. I mean, as long as she's got the spiritual hammer. Okay, now... You'd think this is just like when we ran into the scorpions, nothing to it. But, if we look... Back, switch to search mode. As you search through the wrecked smithy, you find that time has crumpled everything, with the exception of one old hammer. Do you take it? Okay, that should be a magic hammer. And that is one of the things that clerics can use. So we'll have Teresa take it. And we'll turn off search mode because we found what we were looking for here. Okay, then let's go north through here. You enter the keep's old armory. All the weapons and armor have decayed into uselessness. Ah, but is this all that there is of the armory? Remember that one room in the slums? Passing through an illusionary wall, you enter a portion of the keep that remains untouched by time or ravaging armies. There is a glow in the northwestern corner of the room. Glow usually means something pretty special. And actually, normally you're supposed to wait until you've talked to the ghost of the cleric who used to be in charge here. But you can find it before you talk to him, too. The special stands in the northwestern corner hold equipment. On stands are a shield, a mace, a sword, and a small suit of chainmail. The equipment has not been tarnished by the passing years. Do you take it? You bet. So we got some experience for that. And, okay, this time I think it would definitely be worth casting Detect Magic. Well, got Magic Chainmail, Mace, Longsword, and Shield. We'll have Teresa take the Mace. Then, let's see. Gimli's already got a Magic Shield. Does Teresa have a Magic Shield? She's got the worst armor class of the ones that can use a shield. Okay. We'll have her take the shield too. And I think she's already wearing magic chainmail. Ah, the spiritual hammer left. Uh-huh. Once we get the mace ID'd, we might give it to one of the fighter types in case we run into more undead later on. But I think we have still a longsword and some chainmail. Or we don't want to give the chainmail to Gimli. Okay, over here is splint mail. Poxonarian has the plate mail +1 that Mr. Hero was wearing before we dumped him in a ditch. Which is, yeah, very unchivalrous. Probably something that one of the neutral aligned members of the party did. Longsword +1. Okay, so maybe we should have him take. Hang on. Yeah, we'll have over here take the magic longsword. Okay, so the broadsword is 2d4 +7. (1d8 +7). So probably about the same plus, but I think the longsword does more damage against larger than human-sized opponents. And then let's go back here and swap out the splint mail for the magic chainmail. Yeah. We'll make sure nobody's too heavily encumbered. Yeah, looks good. So, now, there is one huge battle that we would need to fight before we get to the guy, or the ghost who's in charge of Sokol Keep. But I think I would kind of like to rest up, and we can't do that while we're within the keep, since we decided to parley with the skeletons here. So we'll head back. An undead patrol confronts you. Do you give the password? Yeah. And they leave. And another undead patrol. So basically the undead patrols will not attack as long as you give them the password. Okay. And another undead patrol. So we basically have to go back to town, rest, and then come back here. So I'm going to pause the recording while we get that taken care of, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah, we bought more ammo for our party and rested and healed. Mostly rested. Picked up the curate that we'd used in the slums and found a swordsman to join the party temporarily too. So now we're back at Sokol Keep. And basically the same message as before. Now, I think probably... Ah. The clue book suggests that to have the best chance of defeating the large force that we're going to be up against, enter the room from one of the southern doors so that you can set up a short, straight defensive line with secure flanks. Okay. I don't know why that wouldn't be possible from the north entrance. It would seem... fewer exits around there. Okay, so let's encamp here. And we'll cast what spells we've got. Okay, she's got Bless. And let's go ahead and cast Spiritual Hammer. Okay, yeah. Our spellcasters don't, our magic users at least, don't have any. How about him? We might have him cast Spiritual Hammer before going into the battle. Okay. We might... only one at a time. Okay, that's Cure Disease. And no. That actually would be useful if we still have it when we get to Belhegan Graveyard. Okay. Okay, let's move the swordsman. And no. Alter. Order. Actually, this is the one we want to select. And we'll put them there. Okay. Okay. So at this point, we're about ready to enter the next room for the huge battle. And this would actually be a good point at which to end the recording, and in the next episode we will have basically the entire episode of one big murdering battle. So we will see you then.